really difficult for you?
Maybe the third, the fourth.
Third or fourth, Any specific sentence or just generally the whole paragraph?
The general idea for life.
The general, okay. Okay, so I'm going to read and then we're going to explain it sentence by sentence, okay, in a simpler way. So Singapore's current economic strategy is closely linked to land use and development planning. So the general idea is the architecture and the building of Singapore, right? One of the important thing is to know how Singapore looks like this amount. So although it is already a major city, the current development plan seeks to ensure Singapore's continued economic growth through restructuring, to ensure that the facilities needed by future businesses are planned now. Okay? So this is kind of like an opposite paragraph from the first and the second. You remember we talked in the first and the second paragraph, they were under the British government for a long time until 1965. So the British government was building the city in order, together with economic growth with merchandise, right? So it was a port, it was shipping things through Asia for Europe, etc., etc. But we all know in the 20th century things are different now, right? We have more developed traveling routes for merchandise. We have planes, we have ships that don't need to stop, etc., etc. So they decided, it is already a major city. The current development plan seeks to ensure Singapore's continued economic growth through restructuring to ensure that the facilities needed by future businesses are planned now. Because the previous one weren't that much planned. This is what we got, right? So they had this problem that they opened, their plan wasn't good, right? They were opening for industry, and then after a while they realized, oh, we cannot make industry big because we are a small city and we don't have enough people. So now they decided to plan it better. So to plan inside their possibilities. So they're a small island, they don't have enough people, so they needed to grow business outside of that, okay? So these include transport and telecommunication infrastructure, land, and environmental quality, okay? So this is what they needed to plan. Now, we are talking the present moment. These are the plans that need to be developed in order for the city to work better, earn better, okay? A major concern, so this is now architectural planning. So they are planning how to build a city. And they have several things they need to have in mind. One of them is, a major concern is, to avoid congestion in the central area. Congestion means, do you know what is congestion?
No.
You didn't Google it. Okay, congestion is like obstruction, like when something closes because there's too many of them. Blood congestion, for example, can make a blood clog and stop your blood from flowing, okay? The similar thing happens with traffic. If the roads and the streets and the boulevards are not planned properly, there's going to be major traffic jams. Do you know what is a traffic jam?
No.
No? Am I talking too fast? Are you not understanding me or understanding me?
No, I understand.
Okay, okay. You stop me if I talk too fast or I say something that you don't understand. So one of the things is, okay, we're going to build this city, like we're going to, not build it, The city is already big, but now they need to restructure it. They need to make it better in order to function better. So a major concern is to avoid congestion in the central area, to avoid a lot of traffic in the city center, okay? And so the latest plan deviates from previous plans by having a strong decentralization policy, okay? Meaning to deviate means to be different, to change direction. So one plan was going this way, and deviation is slight change in the plan because they have a strong decentralization policy. Now, this decentralization, I generally know what it is, but I'm still going to check it in the Webster, the dictionary. So this is also something that you should do. Have you been doing this?
Yes.
Okay. What have you found about decentralization? What does it mean? Okay. The dispersion of distribution of functions and powers. Okay. Meaning not everything is focused on one spot in the city center, but they spread. Okay. They go into different parts of the city. What does this mean? They will not open just one major company, just like, I don't know, 10 major companies in one block, but they will spread it around the city. So the traffic inflow, the people going to work, people going to those companies for business, they do not all go in the same direction, you understand? But instead the traffic is released because all the major companies are not in the same spot, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So everything is, again, city planning. They're planning how to distribute these buildings, these new businesses, these new banks that they're planning, in order not to stop or slow down traffic and regular city functioning, okay? Not only because of themselves, but because of the future investors. Whoever wants to invest a lot of money will come into Singapore and say, oh my God, there's no traffic here, it's so easy to go around, it's easy to get from one point to another. So these are all practical things that this government was thinking about in order to increase business, okay? They wanted to make their customers and their clients happy, okay? So decentralization policy is spreading the companies around the city. The plan makes provision for 4 major regional centers, each serving 800,000 people, but this does not mean that the existing central business district will not also grow. What does this mean? So this plan doesn't put one city center, one downtown, let's say, but 4 big centers. So each center serves 800,000 people. Understand? So it's a huge, those are huge centers. So there's around 3 million people or something going around the city, right? Not at the same time, but as they go and come back, they circulate around the city. If all the 3 million people were focused on one block of buildings or 2 blocks of buildings in the city center, this would be too much traffic. Imagine 3 million people coming to work, going from work, right? Like this, they have 4 centers, so people from different parts of the city go to these 4 centers. So there's no congestion of the traffic. You understand?
Yes.
No, okay. Yeah, but this does not mean that the existing central business districts will not also grow. So yes, these 4 centers are growing, but they still have the main 5th center, which will also grow, but slowlier and with less people coming and going than when they distribute it on the 4 centers. A major extension planned around Marina Bay draws on examples of other world cities, especially those with waterside central areas such as Sydney and San Francisco. I think this one is clear. So Marina Bay, do you know what is the word bay?
No.
No? Okay. I do hope that you're looking all these words on